Welcome to the Real Build podcast. I'm Tommy, and I'm here with two guys you're going to hear from a lot, Devan and Tyler. We're three friends navigating life, work, change, and everything in between.
This show is about being real life, real pivots, real rebuilds. We've all taken different paths, and this podcast is a place where we talk about the process, the struggles, and the moments where things shift.
This podcast is about breaking routines, testing ideas, and living stories worth telling. We're not experts. We're just three guys figuring things out, and we're inviting you to figure it out with us.
So, Tyler, this question I got is for you and I,
Yeah.
because we already know that Devan did this. Like, have you ever felt like just blowing it up? Like just blowing up your life, quote unquote life right now, right? Because our life's what we make it ultimately. And then just starting over.
Yeah, man. I've had that perspective quite a bit. I've even joked with Devin. We're like, we're moving to Costa Rica. We're out.
Let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm taking my scuba course.
Seriously,
I'm gonna be a scuba diver.
And I think a big part of it though does come down to, there's situations at work that you become upset about, or there's things that just are not. We talked about it this morning already, where there's things where you're like, I'm fed up.
Yep.
And it is one of those situations for me where there is a lot of situations at work where it does feel like, even though I've got a good thing, that it's like, is it worth it for my mental health? And it's kind of like that monkey branch thing. It's like, okay, well, it's definitely not what I want, but at the same time, it's not what I want to. I don't have that courage, I guess, yet to just be like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Right? I'm not in that situation financially, not in that situation mentally, to just be like, I'm just gonna send it and I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm selling the house. I'm going rogue. But at the same time, like, there is more of an itch in me, and it's becoming increasingly and very fast. Yeah, it's just more itchy. Yeah, it's the gynecology appointment you're gonna go to. But it's becoming more in tune with who I am internally, to being like, you need to focus on what is making you happy, right? And is that what I'm doing? So yeah, man, that's been a huge thought. It still is. I still fight it, and I don't know if it'll ever go away until I find purpose. But what is my purpose? And I think I'm gonna fight that too. So it's like it's a double-edged sword, man.
Yeah. Dude, I think I look at your experience, and we'll get more into this, I'm sure, as podcasts go on and everything. We'll talk about everybody's lives and kind of what their backgrounds are. But like, I look at your life as very intriguing too. And I only know a little bit. Like, I don't know a lot about both of you guys. Like, we haven't been like childhood friends growing up together. But like motocross background, racing, like the outdoors, living in Montana, stuff like that. Like, those to me are super intriguing. Like, I look at those and I'm like, dude, you have an ability or a background that I don't even know, like 0.2% of people have ever seen.
Mm.
Like as a motocross and stuff like that, like people don't see that. People see it on TV and they're like, "Oh, that's cool. I wonder how they do it." And then it's like, but to really make it, like you made it, and then got injured, but it's like you have that drive. You played college ball, like there's things that are like deeply instilled in you that's like the push.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be like curl up in the fetal position and be like, "Oh, this is really hard. I'm just gonna like let it go and this is gonna hurt."
Yeah.
But it's like, no, your mindset. I know that your mindset is like, this is gonna hurt and I'm gonna get through this and it's gonna be freaking awesome.
Yeah, the one thing that I have learned from ever since, growing up, had some crazy family stuff happen, some pretty crazy hardships, but one thing that I know about me and my background is just like the best mentality I do have is never giving up. I don't care if you doubt me. I don't care if you think you can second guess me. I don't even care if you have rumors about me. I don't care. But the thing that I do know is that I will never give up. And yeah, procrastination is a killer, and I need to work on that too. That's a big one for a lot of people, especially me. But I do have that in me, and I know that. So it's kind of like that bulldog mentality, right? It's like, I don't care that if anybody thinks that's not going to make it. And it's the same thing that happened with motocross, or, the same thing happened with college football. Like my coach told me first year, he's just like, dude, uphill battle. There's kids that are younger than you that are better than you. And if you don't get better by next year, we're probably going to cut you. What are you going to do? And so I took that serious for, that first 8 months. I gained weight, I've trained, and I made it. And I got money to make it through school. And, that was a blessing. So it's just a lot of things that I think that's kind of where I'm at in my aspect of life now too, where it's like I've got a great job and I know it might not be exactly where I land, but I know I'm not going to give up on anything that I am pursuing.
Yeah.
Right. And that's one of the biggest things. And it might be because I'm from Montana, being in the woods and hunting. And my dad was like, rub dirt on it, that it didn't really matter. It's like, if you cry, you stand up and cry. Don't sit down. If you're going to cry, walk while you cry, and then we'll keep going, and that's a big attribute to it too, is just the men, my dad, my grandpa, best friends of my life. And that's how they raised me. That was something that's always been instilled, where it's like, it doesn't matter what you get faced with, as long as they know on the other side of the table that you're not going to give up. That's dangerous.
Okay.
And I enjoy that. I don't care if I'm second in the room, where like, well, Devin's probably going to beat me in the workout, which he does a lot.
No.
But I do love knowing that, like, I'll chase your ass. I'm not going to give up. You might beat me, but for sure I will chase you. And so, yeah, that's a trait of mine that I enjoy, that I am okay with telling people. Right. So it's pretty sweet.
Love it.
What about you, Tommy?
Oh man,
hit us with
dropping freaking grenades.
Blow this stuff up.
Yeah, dude. I've thought about it every day for the last like 3 years. I have this really big push and pull in my life with concrete and concrete business. Like, I started doing concrete when I was like 12 years old. My brothers all did concrete, and I started doing it with them, and it was my summer job, it was my summer gig, and I'd just go help them. When I was 12, it was like I was a worthless pile of crap, I'm sure, but I'd go push a wheelbarrow or throw concrete into a trailer or whatever. And I've become really good at concrete personally, but I suck at running a business, or suck at running that business, I guess. And it's like, but I have this really hard thing. It's like, if I blow it up now, am I quitting on it? Or if if I like just stop, like, cause my concrete business almost sold 6 months ago now, I think. But some things on the buyer's side happened that they didn't want to actually take on another business. So, but anyways, I always have this, like, I don't want to quit and I don't want to like stop because of the what if. But at the same time, it's like, how long do I keep that going? And at what price do I pay? Like, same type of thing that we talked about this morning. Like, you're on a train, you ride that train for so damn long that the price of admission to get back costs you more than what you're willing to pay or what you can afford or whatever. And it's like, so at what point do I just hop off this train and start walking back, or find another train or a horse or camel or wherever I'm at? Like, do it.
Donkey.
Yeah. And so, like, I think, yes, ultimately, yes, I will drop a grenade on this soon. We'll see how soon that comes, because some days I feel like it's going to be right now. But I think, as far as that goes, like, starting fresh to me is scary, because it's been 20 something years in concrete. So starting fresh is like a newborn trying to walk. It's like, what do I do? But again, like we've talked about, who cares? Ultimately, yeah.
You think it like, do you think the quitting aspect is what holds you back, like thinking people are gonna think you're a quitter?
I don't think it's what people think about it. I think it's what I personally think about it.
Like, you think you're gonna be a
Yeah,
quitter?
so in the known group, we talked about that, the letter to little me, right? And in that letter, you guys know this and I shared this, but in that letter, I talked about in high school quitting on baseball. It was after high school. Like, I should have gone on and walked on and played ball. I had an offer in Virginia at a little school, and my ego got in my way. I was like, who the hell do these colleges think they are, not picking me up? Like, what is this? I should have been picked up. I should have been playing ball somewhere. Even a JC should have come and recruited me. And instead of being like that pit bull or bulldog mindset. Like I cowered basically and I quit. And I was like, well, if I'm not going to get picked up by somebody, if they don't want me, then I guess I'll just start working and go do concrete. And so I think personally, that's my my block is where I feel almost like if I just grenade this thing right now, is that me quitting or is that me just pivoting and moving on to something else? And ultimately, like, I think I'm coming to terms that it's like it's a pivot because at some point in time, like, I just have to do it.
I think it comes down to really to it's not like you're just giving up. Again, it's not like you're yeah, you might be stopping concrete. That doesn't mean quitting though,
Right.
right? Like you're going on to do something else and hopefully something that makes you feel more fulfilled. So it's not this aspect of quitting, even though that's probably what it feels like. Cause I was the same when I left my job. I'm like, am I a quitter? Technically, yeah, I guess I quit my job,
Sure.
but doesn't mean I'm not going to go do something else.
Yeah.
You're going to figure it out. You're going to find something that, even if it makes less money, it will make your life feel better. Right. And
Yeah.
so I know you will. I know all three of us can do it. Like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the thing is that it's crazy. And I don't know what else you got on the docket, but I want to ask some questions.
Oh,
I watched this podcast and a guy was talking about him doing podcasts. He says sometimes he does podcasts with his friends and never releases them
Hmm.
because they're just, he's like, I've learned more about my friends during a podcast than any other time. And sometimes it's just so personal. I don't
Don't need
release
to
it.
put that out there.
Yeah. But like,
Cut that.
it's cool. Like, I mean, if something comes of it, cool, but it's recorded at this point. So maybe one day you use this, right? Who knows? Maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's in a year. But as part of the known, I want to know what your dreams are. And I want them to be embarrassing to tell me because I'll tell you
oh,
mine.
damn. Who you want, Bert or me?
Let's start Tommy, dude.
All
Let's get
right.
it. I'm looking right at you.
Yep. So this is actually something that's came up this week because the vision board, and I don't know if I haven't necessarily like dialed it in, but sitting right here is actually one of the things on my vision board. And it's not because I'm like, oh, it's going to happen or it's already in the works. Like it's happening. But at the same time, like I've wanted to do this for 2+ years. Like I said, I was on a podcast before with Slayer Calls and it just kind of petered out. And so that was one of them. Another thing is like, I want to be a keynote speaker. Like it's so weird. I don't know why, but I want to resonate with people. And I want people again, it's not recognition like Tyler said. I don't care if people know my name. I don't care if I have a million followers or whatever on social media or I make $1 million a year or whatever it is. Like not to get churchy, but like they say that like leading one sheep back to the flock is enough. And that's kind of how I feel like in with keynote speaking is like if I touch one person's life in a positive manner, then I've done it. And I made it. Like I don't care if I talk one time at an event somewhere and one person life is changed or even this podcast, if somebody listens to this one podcast and they're changed, then we could quit forever and it would be like satisfying. Would I do that? No. But that's to me is like I've changed somebody's life by something that I've done in a positive, and that's worth it.
I think there's probably, I think we're all like that,
Yeah.
right? The cool thing is you've probably already done it.
I've
doing
changed
it.
people's lives.
And yeah, it's like, I mean, we haven't ever talked about this, but you just being you and being yourself and the cool person you are, the nice person you are, the good person you are, right? Like, I mean, you changed my life, which is crazy. You and Jennifer, you had no idea who I was when you did it.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It's crazy to me, but, and then the same goes for you. It's, I don't know, as I think about it, like how life unfolds and how whatever direction this thing has taken us, life, as long as you're leaning in and being the good people that you know you are, that's coming, dude. And I know you're both good people. And so I know excites me to see where this takes us all, dude. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. And I think other like dreams that I have, like back to your question about dreams, is like I just want to experience. I want to experience what life has to give. And there's steps that I'm taking to do that, like getting my scuba diving certification. Um, like I want to go spearfish. I want to go travel and like experience. I've told you about this about Devin. I've told you about the nomadic hunting experience.
That'd be sick.
And so, kind of a backstory on this is that last year, when my concrete business was about ready to sell, I was like, I got to find out what I want to do next. I was like, it's not going to be just something boring. I'm not going to go freaking work at like Melaleuca or something. Like, I'm going to go do something badass. And so I was like, I want to go experience life in a different way that the majority of people will not ever experience. Not because they can't, but because of like what we're talking about. Like, this block won't allow them to. So I wanted to go, or I still want to, and I'm going to someday. I want to go travel and hunt, fish, just live whatever with people, not necessarily like for months, but for a couple days type of thing. And I want to experience their life through their eyes, like your job experience. Your experience their life through their eyes. I don't want to go with some guide in Mexico or with whatever. Like, I want to go with Jesus, who walks to freaking school barefoot, comes back home, goes out and fish for mom and dad at night because that's life. Like, that's how they eat. I want to go do that. Or I want to go to like, my thing is always Louisiana. It pops in my head. I'm like, I want to go gator fish in Louisiana with freaking Jim Bob and his brother who are in this like P-row or whatever. And I want to go live it. And so I'm like, yeah, dude, that's how these guys live. This is freaking wild. And ultimately, there's those people out there who have nothing, who live in dirt shacks or whatever, but they live a life so fulfilled because they don't worry about the everyday crap that we worry about. Like we've already talked about, the vehicles and whatnot, but they live a life of experience and of fullness, where I don't think that we live a life of fullness a lot of times because we're worried about what's next or getting the next thing. And so, like, that to me is like my deep want.
First question that comes to my mind, right, is okay, Tommy's business didn't sell, right? If it did, this would have been easier. But like, do you think it was supposed to be hard?
Hell
Like,
yeah, it's supposed to be hard.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost to me, it's like, okay, if you really want to do that, say there is a God, right? God's like, let his business not sell so he can lean into himself fully and know that this is Tommy's choice. Not that someone came in and saved the day. And I'm not saying someone came in and saved the day by buying your, like,
Sure.
but like ultimately, like in my mind, that's what my mind tells me, right? Is like, I wonder if it was supposed to be harder. So like as that happens and as you lean into that, you'll almost appreciate it more. I don't know. I'm not saying you wouldn't appreciate it if you had $1,000,000, but
Well, I totally understand. It's
like,
like the saying, what do they say? The good things in life don't ever come easy.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So like made it harder for you to achieve.
Mhm.
But when you achieve it and like you're experiencing this actual journey of grenading it, blowing it up, whatever that is, however that unfolds, you'll be like, whoa, this is cool.
Yeah.
Cause that's kind of even where I'm at right now. I don't know what I'm doing, but I like it.
Yeah.
Like, it feels good. I'm
You're
like,
like a little kid jerking off for the first time.
6 years
What's
old.
happening? This is good.
That's the truth, though. I really do wonder. I'm like, I think you should do it, and I know you will. And I think it will be probably one of the most fun things you've ever done.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I mean, I want to come with you. Okay, I want to meet Jesus.
I want to go meet the monks.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, yeah.
Pretty
Jesus,
wild.
if you're out there.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. Jesus. Yeah. I mean, I love that. So as far as dreams go, is that it?
I don't know.
What do you not want to tell us?
I don't have any idea, dude.
Okay.
I wish I had some deep, dark, nasty. I want to do. I don't know.
Some freaky.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any BHAGs, they call them, like big, hairy, audacious goals, because, and this is bad, but like I think I've been so mind blocked from my construction business that it hasn't allowed me to like really get like my creative cogs rolling. And not saying that like not saying that there's not dreams out there, but that is like something I think that holds you back, is those things in your life that hold you down don't allow you to dream in a way. And I don't know, maybe like I've thought about this before too, is like I used to have very vivid dreams at night. I don't dream anymore. And I don't know if it's because like sleep or what it is, but like I bet you the last time I had a dream was months, maybe even years ago. And I used to have dreams all the time.
I'm the same way. I've thought about that. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Crazy. I wonder why.
Do you have dreams?
I dreamt
Like,
last night
yeah.
that I was talking to ChatGPT.
No way.
That I was like sending out cryptic messages and ChatGPT was finding them and exposing me.
Shh. Yeah, I want those dreams.
Yeah, dude.
Seriously. Mine are few and far between, just gnarly. Yeah, nothing like that.
Yeah, that one was funny.
I think a lot of my dreams come back to experiences. Like ultimately, I wanted to go. My buddy who died during COVID, like his big thing was to go hunt stags in New Zealand when he turned 40. He died before he was able to do that. Like that's one of my dreams, is to go. Like we talked about doing it together, and that's like one of my things. Like I want to go to New Zealand and go hunt stags.
That's cool.
I don't really want to go pay for it because it's super expensive, but at the same time, it's like YOLO.
Yeah. I feel like there's ultimately got to be a way that it's more achievable than you think.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
And it's not, I'm not going to let money hold me back. It will happen. Even if I have to go, like there's small stags, right? Like there's ways to do it, but it will happen. It's just right now, a lot of the things, and I know this is kind of like an excuse, but a lot of things is like my kids
Yeah.
and their sporting activities and stuff like that. Like I have a really hard time missing those, because when I was a cop, I missed a lot. And my daughter, my oldest daughter, was even like, "Yeah, you weren't there at a lot of birthdays." And I'm like, "Damn, I don't remember that, but you do." And that to me is big.
Yeah, that's big.
And so that's where I'm like, I want to make every sporting event, every graduation, like they have a lot of graduations now with elementary and all that crap, but like I want to be at all those things. And so to put my dreams on hold for a little bit, I think is where part of it's too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's wrong.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, you're still going to be in a season of life, right? Like, if you truly believe that life has seasons, it's not like your kids are going to be kids forever, you know? And being able to just be okay with, like, hey, I am going to make that's good. That is, I mean, I feel like that's a great goal, right? To make sure you're supporting your children in a way
Yeah.
that you couldn't before. And I think that's cool as hell. I really do. I did the same thing in security where I like missed Christmases and it's not fun, you know? Like, so I think it even comes back to this thing is like, even realizing the good you have right now can make you feel better, you know, like you can make those things now. Doesn't mean you can't shoot for progress or shoot for growth or whatever that is. But yeah, I think just being able to realize you're in the season of life like you have and being okay with like, dude, this is cool that I get to support my kids the way I didn't before. So I don't know. I think that's pretty cool to at least I won't even consider that an excuse, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. What you got, Tyler?
I'm listening to you guys talk, and I'm like, holy, I honestly like. I feel like my dreams have changed, man. And it used to be something that would be like, you used to tell me what that would be before, and be like, oh, I want to be a firefighter, or I wanted like this is the job I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's changed so much for me now that like I would say the biggest goal that I have, and then the dream I have the most about is pursuing happiness. That's genuinely my biggest goal, percent. Like, You know when you're driving down the road and you're listening, this happens to me at least, when you listen to a good song and, like, you'll, like, well up a little bit, you get a little teary-eyed, you're like, "Oh, shit." Dude, that is my dream in life, genuinely, is to live that kind of way on a daily basis, whatever that means I'm pursuing, right? Whether that's, like, my, you know, waking up and I'm going to my job or I'm making money while I'm sleeping. That is my biggest dream, and I feel like each time I have glimpses of it, that is the biggest thing that, like, out of any job I would ever do, anything I could ever want in life, that is probably my dream, and it's kind of like I do have a goal too. Me and Devin talked about it, of like guest speaking or being a keynote speaker, talking in front of big crowds. And I think the reason why is because I genuinely like when we went to Hillcrest and we talked about Revy, right? I think the biggest high that I got from that whole thing was seeing people in the crowd looking at me and the smiles and the applause that they got because of us touching them. That made me happy. That made me feel really, really good. And that to me is something that I feel like I chase the most. Is it's not a job anymore. It's genuinely not. Like I know I've got to make money. I know I need to make money to have freedoms that I know that I want to pursue or the things that I want to be able to do for my kids and everything in life. But my biggest dream, man, honestly, is it's happiness. That's a big check mark, honestly.
So how do you think you achieve it? What is happiness?
So that's what's always evolving is it's like there's a lot of parts to it, right? Like you need a job. I need to make money. I know that there's certain things. And I think the biggest thing that is going to be the biggest factor in it, and we've been working on this in the known, is just being true to myself and following my intuition, believing in myself, and allowing myself to get rid of. With me saying earlier that one of my biggest attributes is never giving up, I also think it's my biggest downfall. And I think it's my biggest downfall because I never want to give up. I'm stubborn. I'm super stubborn. So I know I don't want to give up on things because I think there's something that I'm going to hold out for to make it a little bit easier or better or whatever. But it's the train thing, and we've talked about that too. How expensive is my ticket home? Why is my biggest attribute my hardest downfall? And that's something I'm genuinely learning, is that that's my biggest step, is that believing in myself and knowing that I don't have to fight so hard for the things that I want. Does that make sense? And that's going to bring me the best happiness. That's going to make everything follow into place. So,
Yeah, I think even me and Tommy talked about that today. Is doesn't make it any easier,
no,
but ultimately on the other side of that, you already know what there is. Like you
for
know
sure.
what's coming deep down. You know, and that's like the craziest thing is even deep down for the stuff that I'm doing and I've done. I knew the second I felt it. Didn't mean I accepted it. I had to think about it and I had to make sure I was right and I had to make sure these things and blah blah blah. But like I spent all this money ultimately to come back to the answer I already had. And I don't know why I was waiting for someone to tell me because ultimately it still came down to me. It came down to what I already knew. Why was I seeking outside approval or outside validation or for someone to give me permission to do what I already knew I had to do? I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
But
that reminds me of that letter that I wrote to little me. Is that in there? I wrote, "Follow your heart, not your mind, because your mind's gonna ultimately lead you astray."
yeah,
And it's like it's hard
hmm
because your mind plays tricks on you.
yeah,
Your mind will tell you not to do something because your mind is what's the word, man? Your mind is like analytical, thinks about it.
it's logic.
It thinks about what are the bad things gonna happen. Your heart doesn't care. Your heart says go if it's right, or your heart says pull back, stop, and we just got to learn how to follow that.
Yeah.
I think the purpose of life is right in there too. Listening to your heart, really. I'm sure there's probably arguments that go against that, but logically, I've done things that just people don't do,
Yep.
which blows my mind.
Oh, I've had things where I've followed my mind when I knew in my heart it was no in business. Those things I can think of two of them have cost me almost 100 grand.
Dang.
And it's like those two instances, if I would have followed my heart, I would be either 100 grand richer or even instead of 100 grand poorer.
Dang.
They're good lessons. I
Yeah.
learned a lot from them. Like, but know that if I would have followed my heart, I wouldn't have had that.
At least you like look at it as a lesson.
Yeah.
You got a learning experience from it.
Right.
Yeah.
School of hard knocks.
And I think that
My life.
Yep.
I think that comes back to even mine. Like, even though I have like obviously I got my blood boiling earlier, right?
Yeah.
And as mad and as frustrated as I've ever felt and been or whatever, in the end, I'm still thankful for it. It doesn't mean it was easy, right? But I have gratitude because any other way, I would still probably be where I was. And I think that I'm not supposed to be there. Ultimately, I think this is what I was supposed to do. And had it been any other way, I wouldn't have done it. So doesn't mean I'm perfect and I can't I still carry some negative feelings around and like that kind of stuff that will like piss me off. But deep, deep down, I'm still very thankful that I got to experience it, which is crazy because it was hard. But I don't know.
I think if we as a human race, because we'll put it out there to the entire world, come off as more of a thankful person, our lives would be tremendously different.
Oh yeah. I agree.
I totally agree as well.
I think that too, because I even think about like as I speak, tell you about my, what my biggest dream is it's more of a like a spiritual thing. But I think that has to do also with like everybody has a reason why they're doing what they're doing, even if other people want to judge them and be like, well, what are you doing? Why are you doing it this way? And I think about my when I say that, and I think about things that I've gone through or things I'm going through or whatever. I genuinely think like if there's sole reasons and lessons why you're at where you're at and you're doing the things you're doing. Because I have glimpses of it already where I'm like, I feel like it's coming. But then something really hard will happen and I'm like, well, why? And it's like, well, I genuinely do feel like it's probably either I put myself in that situation, dumbass, right? But I also feel like it's something that when I do get to that point of feeling that way, I have these resources. I have the known that I went through with. I have these different perspectives of being like, I now know and have tools to help me keep me in that place. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of where you're talking about it too, where it's like, I genuinely like the people around me that have a outlook on life and a perspective that's very open-minded, right? And I like what you said, Devin, like you're here for your family and you'll help everybody else, but you're not going to do it for them. And I think that's the kind of people that most people need to really kind of indulge in and try and be more about. Is there's so many people that you just walk around. It's like you could tell them their dreams and they're just going to judge you and be like, well, I can point out 15 different things on why you're not there. Well, that's not the kind of person I really want to be around. I want to tell you my dreams and be open and transparent with you so that you can be like, hey, you have a lot up against you and I'm going to support you and you can do it. Instead of the other person on the other side of the room being like, I'm judging you.
Yeah.
Right. So it's perspective. And I think it has to do with your environment. And I think that's a big contributor to dreams. Right.
Yeah.
So
Dude, that makes me think about when it was in 2018. We were sitting there in our house in Caldwell watching The Greatest Showman. And I was still a cop at that time. And I was kind of wrestling with the idea of like being done. And because I decided one day to be a cop and Jennifer didn't know. And she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm going to go test for a police department. And she's like, you're doing what? And I was like, yeah. And so anyways, that was basically, I think like 8 years total being law enforcement. And in 2018, I'm sitting there watching The Greatest Showman in our living room with my kids. The Million Dreams song come on. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that movie and that song. dude, I started bawling like a little baby, like flat out crying my eyes out. And I'm like, what is going on with me? And Jennifer looks over at me and she's like, what is wrong? What's happening? And I was like, I'm quitting law enforcement. And I was like, I got to follow my dreams. And she was like, wait, what? I was like, I'm doing it. And no shit, within like a day or two, I was quitting. Like I had gone in, gave my letter of resignation, gave my 2 weeks, and I was done. And it was like all off of one song about dreams that it was like, I'm doing it.
That's cool.
That is
Pretty wild.
cool.
It was so crazy.
You've done some rogue things too.
Yeah, dude,
I
you
have
know.
done drugs. Yep.
That's cool.
Okay, I want to hear yours now. You said that they're wild.
Mine are wild because they make me feel, for perspective here. The reason I think they're wild is because Jordan and I have experienced some things of like mental health issues, and not personally, but like with her family, where like her brother thought he was Jesus, which is crazy, you know? Like when you think about Jesus and what he did, and you know how he's obviously helped millions and millions of people, and people, you know, now consider Jesus as like, oh, he saved them, you know? Like, well, her brother thought he was that. And so when I tell people this, I have a hard time saying it because I don't want to feel like Jesus. I just want to feel like me, you know? And it's not to be in, you know, like famous again, like you talked about, or like some crazy influencer that has pull in people's life. Like, no, but like my dreams are I want to impact millions of people for good, and like being who they are meant to be, not who they are told to be. Like this, I mean, if you look at even in Jesus's life, right? And I don't even know why I'm talking about Jesus. I'm not even religious, but like you look at Jesus' life and what he did, and we talked about this, right? Where like Jesus, yeah, he was religious. He was like, what is Judaism or whatever, but he went against everything that religion was. Like he was a rebel. And if you look at the people he hung out with and hung around, he was helping the lowest of the low, what's considered low. And so it's like he's going against the norm and helping people be themselves, to speak up for themselves and to stand for what is right inside of them, not what the government or the leadership or all these uppity people that need control and have agendas are trying to make the people do. And so in my mind, it feels Jesus-y what I want, because I want people to just be them and to know that like happiness and purpose is found inside. It's not given to us. It's found inside of us. And so my ultimate dream is to positively impact millions of people. And I have no, and that's I think why I lean into social media. Whether it happens that way or not, I don't know. But the fastest way to reach millions of people is through the internet.
Yeah.
And
true.
so I don't know. Maybe I have a video that a million people see. I have no idea. But I hope something happens in that aspect. And so when I come down to dreams, it's that. It's like what we're doing with the known, where I'm hoping at the end of this known, like people realize that happiness is more a choice than it is a circumstance. It's a frame of mind to know that where you're at, again, are ultimately based on your own decisions. And that's okay. Because if you don't like where you're at, you can make decisions to get out of them. And like, again, doesn't make it easy, doesn't make it seem even more doable. That's okay. But it's one of those things, like, even in my own, like, ultimately, I have to make decisions and hard decisions to be where I'm at. And I could lose everything. Like, I could. I don't even know what that means. But like, if it comes down to me having to sell literally everything in my house, I will. And I know everything else that's going to, like, I would only benefit from that, is how I see it. Truly, if it comes down to me having to sell everything, yeah, it's gonna suck, but I ultimately know I'm only going to benefit. So, and maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. I'll freaking do it if I have to. I don't know. But yeah, so my dreams are that. And then I've got this weird, I don't know why, like in my mind, it seems crazy to say, but like whatever I am doing, I somehow want to have that announced in a football stadium, like the Las Vegas Raiders football stadium. And this happened. I got this dream during the fundraiser. I was like, imagine if I could announce what I'm doing that's good to a football stadium of people.
Oh shit, he's putting it in the
Yeah, dude.
We've talked about this.
Yep. And I remember thinking that during that fundraiser, I'm like, I will figure this out. I don't know how. That's even why I said, like, I want to job shadow the Raiders. I just got to make the right connections. That's ultimately what I believe is as I make these connections and these people, and like, it's ultimately all for me boils down to who you know.
Mhm.
And if that's good people and the right people, everything is possible. So here I am, little Devan in someone's basement from Idaho Falls, dreaming big dreams. I don't know, and I don't know what happens, but I'm gonna do it. I mean, ultimately, if that happens, I don't know. I think it's possible. I don't know how. I'm just gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep taking steps, and that's ultimately what I'm trying to do now. Is like the same idea, like things that hold you back, and like your logic. I'm done with my logic because it's only ever stopped me from doing things. It's only ever prevented me from leaning into what my heart is telling me to do. And so I'm just leading my life with my heart and see what comes of it. And if I can somehow make my dreams come true that way, now you guys know my Jesus dreams. It's crazy. It seems crazy to say, but mostly because of like, do I even believe I can do that?
I think this ties into Gary Vaynerchuk. Have you listened to much of Gary V, where he talks about wanting to own the Jets?
Yeah.
But he doesn't, from what I understand, he doesn't really care about owning the Jets. Like he wants to. He probably has enough freaking money to own the Jets, or he could get enough money, right?
Yeah.
But really, that's like his dream. Like that's his BHAG, right? His big, hairy, audacious goal. But that's also a driver. It's not like, oh, I want to go talk in front of Hillcrest High School girls basketball game. Like you've done that, right? It was cool. And it was like a primer, but it wasn't difficult. But like to go talk in front of 100,000 people at Oakland Stadium or whatever they call it in Las Vegas now is a hell of a lot harder. So if you don't have that goal, you got to put it out there. Like you say, you put it out there to the world and see what comes of it. And if you don't do that, I'm sorry, nobody knows. Nobody cares. Nobody knows what they don't know. Like, I know it's a really stupid saying, but it's very true. You don't know what you don't know. And so if people don't know that you want to speak out there in front of that, and not speak, I guess, but like put out what you're doing, if it's a fundraiser, if it's, whatever, and you'll never have it happen.
Yep. I wholeheartedly agree with that because I mean, I said that in our last group, right? It was like some things need to be public that you don't want to publicize because you're one person away from making the connection that you need to make to achieve that. I really believe in that. And it's might be you had to meet 15 people, right, to meet this one, but ultimately it's just one. But you got to take the steps to get to that person. And so, yeah, ultimately, so this is even to go deep dive into my dream, right? So my dream originated from the fundraiser, and I thought I could, if I could go say this in front of however many thousands of people in a football stadium for a fundraiser, and I just asked them all for $1. Like that would be badass. And
Yeah.
just be like, hey, I know some of you don't, you've spent a lot of money to get here. And so I'm not asking you for a lot. But if everybody hearing this can donate $1 to whatever this cause is, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars just from like a community of people. And that's like in my vision that I've written for myself is to bring a community together and do something bigger than one sole person could do.
Dude, I know the right people for you.
Who would Donald Trump?
I know people through people that know people.
Yes.
So my father-in-law is the manager of the Reno Rodeo. They go down to Las Vegas every year to go to the NFR. Well, they stay at South Point, which I can't remember his first name, but his last name is Wong. He owns that, which I'm sure has pull like you wouldn't believe. And my father-in-law knows the dude that owns the South Point. And so I got you.
That'd be cool.
Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, all right, now, like, now you know what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, like what my true heart wants to do. And like ultimately me opening up to that, like who knows whether this comes or not. Right. But now other people can help you connect the dots.
Well, it's just like your job tryouts. Like
Yeah.
one night I'm texting you like 5 different things. I'm like, dude, go work with a bite dog on the police department. Go be a panhandler. Go like do all of these things. And I'm just spitting them out to Devan on text. And I'm sitting there thinking like, he's probably like, just shut the hell up, dude. Like, just shut up. I don't want to do any of these. But I'm just like spitting them out there because it's like you put it out there to the world that's you wanted to do job tryouts.
Yeah. I appreciate it because ultimately I don't know. Like I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I honestly would have never thought to go be like a dog handler. But like that would be freaking cool as hell. And then like the Dutch Bros one.
Yeah.
Like that would be fun. I'll go make someone's chocolate milk.
I'm all jacked up.
Like I think that stuff would be fun and it showcases something that, yeah, that's the kind of stuff I want to do. But ultimately putting that out into the universe, I had to do that and I knew it. It's funny. I did that. I'd had that idea before I ever left Synergy. And I actually brought it up to them and it kind of like fell on deaf ears, you know, like, oh, we'll get there if we get there.
Yeah. You brought it up to me too. And you're like, dude, you should do this. And I'm like sitting there thinking like, how the heck am I going to do this? But I'm so glad that you did it.
Yeah. I was like, here we go. And I remember once I quit, started having the idea again. I'm like, oh boy, I look at Jordan. I'm like, I'm going to take the step that I know leads me, that has worked for me in the past and just tell people, see what happens. It's been 2 weeks. I've done 4 jobs, which is fun. It's been very like exciting. Who knows what comes of it? But I think there's connections that are going to come from this that wouldn't have come in any other way. Like to where maybe it helps me fulfill my dream of impacting millions of people, even if it's just 1 million people, but impacting millions of people for hopefully being, you know, in a positive light, right? Like helps them improve their life in one way or another. Same thing why you want to do keynote speaking. So hopefully somebody resonates with that and they can step into a version of themselves that they've wanted to before, just have been blocked from.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
Sweet.
how long has this been?
It's been an hour and 58 minutes.
Holy crap. My battery died on my camera
dang.
right when I talked about my dream.
I think
So
mine's about
zip.
to die too.
only your guys' dreams are available, not mine.
No, I think it's awesome. I don't, who knows? Again, like you say, maybe somebody out there listens to this. Maybe it doesn't get released. Maybe part of it does. Maybe whatever. I don't know. But like, who cares?
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Love
The
it.
right people will hear it.
Yep.
The people that need to hear it will hear it. And
Yep.
we're just taking the steps to make that happen,
Yep.
right? I think that's ultimately what it comes down to, even keynote speaking, right? You want to impact, you could do that through this podcast,
Mhm.
right? You could
Sure.
do that through sharing your life and your experiences, and somebody is going to be in the same exact thing, like, oh man, I have a concrete business or I've got some sort of business, but I have filled a hole that I want to do something else, and they're going to follow your example, following your heart. So I don't know.
Yep. Love it.
We say a closing prayer or what do we do?
No, I actually want to ask you one question. So the question that I want to ask you, Devan, and this can wrap it up, whatever, but is what books? Like you brought up a couple books. We're reading the book. Why can I not ever think of this?
Wealth Money Can't Buy.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're reading that for the known. Like, what are some books that you highly recommend to our listeners, to people out there want to read?
So the first book I ever read, we already talked about this in the podcast, right? The first one I read, it's called A Man's Search for Meaning, or a search. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's A Man's Search for Meaning by like Victor Wilt. He was a prisoner, World War II, right? Nazi, Jewish thing, right? So
We know what happened.
inside the book, though, where he's searching for meaning, it's crazy because at the end of the book, he talks about where he found true freedom, where he had never, I mean, he was a prisoner, where you have the least amount of freedom ever. He's like, is as a prisoner, I found freedom. So that's a big one. And that helps mentally too. It's a cool book and it has history, right? I love the book you guys are reading right now, Green Lights.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Dude, it's so good.
Such a good book.
I'm on the second round of listening to it in a week.
Dude, it's so good.
It's crazy.
I
I didn't ever think I'd like it that much. Like, and we were talking about like somebody's life earlier about how like fulfilling or how like different things happen in your life. And that dude, Matthew McConaughey, has some crazy things happen in his life. And we actually talked about this last night at dinner with my sister. To me, that life though, for him is familiar. Like it's out there. He's done way more crazy things than I ever have. Um, and his childhood was a little more wild, like a little more Western.
yeah.
But like that to me was familiar. Like riding my bike in town, because I lived in a small town. I lived in Driggs. Like riding my bike through town, my mom would call the local like salon or the drugstore and be like, "Hey, have you seen Tommy ride by?" "Yeah, he came by 15 minutes ago." And that was like the check-in. I didn't check in as a kid. Like I just went. And like those were the cool things.
Yeah.
And like that to me is a fulfilling life. And that's what that book reminds me of.
It's like, yeah, it's super satisfying to read. And it even comes back into like stepping into this before you grew up, like I feel like that dude truly lives a life like he just kind of stayed in it, like never grew up.
He follows his heart.
Yeah.
That is for damn sure.
Yeah.
Like when he's like goes on his motorcycle trip in Europe, goes and does
Australia.
yeah. Yeah.
Goes to the, I mean, what do you say? The Congo? Is that where he goes?
No,
What
he goes
river?
the Amazon River.
The Amazon
Walks in it
River.
naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Because of a dream.
Yeah.
It's freaking cool, dude.
Just
Love
like
that book.
driven by passion.
Exactly.
It's like pure passion.
And it's funny. I've talked about passion with people. I'm like business owners. Like, I feel like, and I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm not a business owner, right? Like,
Yeah, you are.
well, maybe. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
I
you
am,
are.
but not like
Unbeknownst to yourself, you're a business owner, dude. You're in it.
I'm like, man, if you can do things with passion, then you can stay in things way longer than if you were driven by money. And people have disagreed with me. I'm like, well, sucks to be you, I guess.
I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree that passion will take you further than money will.
Yeah.
I make plenty of money. And I'm not saying I'm rich. Like I don't make like millions a year, but I make plenty of money. But it sucks because I don't have the passion for it anymore.
Yeah.
I think that there are people out there, we've already talked about this a little bit. There are people out there that have nothing, that are passionate about what they do and love what they do, that are more rich than I am.
It comes down to the book, The
Yep.
Wealth Money Can't Buy, which
Yep.
is definitely another book I would recommend. The Comfort Crisis is a book I've read multiple times.
Dude, the comfort crisis makes me want to just go do stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It kind of lines up with Matthew McConaughey's.
Mhm.
They're really good. And then there's like two other books I think that have like really good principles. How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's a super good one. For me, that's the first book I read that taught me to listen. Not just like hear it, but to listen to people. And it's still something I have to tell myself to do because I like to keep the conversation going and make sure like the conversation flows. But I'll have to remind myself like, hey, make sure they're done saying what they want to say before I respond. But that book really drives home on that. And it talks about like how to win friends and influence people, like obviously, but in a real way, not like this for an agenda. You know what I'm saying? Like how he sees these principles fit into people's lives and how it's got them to where they want to be as long as they're leaning into it the right way. Then the other one is, another book I read this year, The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Dude, I love the book. I love it. I didn't think I would. I thought I'd be like, whatever, weird. No, dude, that's a book I've actually recommended to multiple people. And it's just the Let Them Theory. It makes sense, right? Just, let go. But she deep dives into why it is so critical to live your life like that for yourself to truly feel at peace. So Those are probably like right off the top of my head, the books that come to mind.
Sweet. Love it.
How you?
Oh man. I'm not a big book reader. There's a lot of books that I love. Like actually the book I think that has probably made the biggest influence on my life in general is Extreme Ownership. And I kind of live my life now by that book. Jocko just explains it like everything is on you. It's not on somebody else. You made the decision. You are there. You did that to yourself. How do you fix it? Or whatever the case may be. But like, that was you, dude.
Yeah.
And so I love that. And I try to instill that into my employees, which is so hard, especially with this new generation or generations coming up, is like they don't take ownership. So that one is a big one.
It's hard though. I mean, at the same, like, I like the principle because it's also freeing. Extreme ownership is freeing, knowing like, all right, if I own my situation, I'm not happy. That's on me. What can I do to now own my shit and fix it? It's not up to anybody else. It's up to you,
Yep.
which is the basis of the book. It's freaking good. But I think it's still a learned behavior. Somebody still has to, like, I wonder if we have to teach that to our children. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop blaming someone else for your circumstance.
Oh yeah.
And it's probably more or less not the generation's fault, but it's their parents' fault for not instilling that into them before they got out into the workplace. And now it's up to people that have no influence over you. And I'm not saying every kid like that is like that, but makes me think, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of my thought that comes down is like, hey, are we failing children, our children as parents because we're not teaching them to own their shit? I don't know. Maybe they
Yes.
all need to read the book.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
I've read a lot of like I only since the last like 6 months have I actually read like self help. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've read a lot of business books before that. And like one of my best books that I've ever read was 10x is easier than 2x.
I think I have that book from you at my
You
house.
might, yeah. And it talks about like basically in a way, like your goals, set your vision higher than what you think. Like to just do 1 or 2 times better than you're doing now is tough. To do 10 times better is easier, which seems so crazy, but it really is. And there's like, I'm not going to go too deep into it on how he does it, but like that's what he talks about in that book. Yeah. I'm again, the books that I read like a quarter of them, half of them, take some stuff from them and then ditch them and head out onto the next book. But Green Light is amazing.
Yeah.
The Pumpkin Patch is a good one.
Oh yeah.
Or the Pumpkin Plan, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah. So those are kind of my books that I've
I think I've got another honorable
on.
mention that I
Yeah.
kind of thought about. The book I actually read it or listened to it twice during the fundraiser was Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life.
That's what I was gonna say.
Dude, it's good.
That one's freaking. You got to be deep into that one.
Dang
though.
it. I'll have to listen to it.
And it's not
That was
long.
deep.
And it's more like a podcast form. It's not even really a book. It's like a 4-hour podcast with Bob Proctor. And I mean, he's been on the wagon of, what do you want to call it? Like life coaching and business coaching and all that stuff for years, since the 70s. He's dead now, but I mean, I feel like he got into that before it was a cool thing to get into.
Yeah.
But the book is good.
Yeah, that's a good one for sure. Atomic Habits is good too.
That one actually, I just saw that one on my list.
That's a good one.
I haven't finished that one yet. And it is good though. I
like
really
that
like
one.
it.
And then I really enjoyed the one you just put me on, even though it's not really a book, but that Strength Finder 2.0.
Oh yeah.
That thing's sick. You should do that. That's cool.
Did you see where I posted that?
Before
I left the site, there's a book that they had it's a test. It's called the Strength Finder 2.0, and you take like, is it 100?
It's 200 questions.
Okay.
Should take you about 30 to 45 minutes. And it's purely based off of like first instinct when you read it. Don't it? And it only gives you 20 seconds. So if you don't answer it, I even got caught on one. Actually, it's because Ozzy was asking me a question, but it skipped it and it tells you like, hey, but anyways, you got X amount of time, 200 questions, and then it gives you your top 5. The book is basically an entire list of all strengths and personalities.
Like personality traits, yeah.
Yeah. and then it gives you your top 5. And then it'll go through on your top 5 and it'll give you like what it means. It'll give you things to work on and things that you can influence or help your strengths to help you get better in life. So it's like it was really cool for me because it was like it shows you like the traits that I have, the things that I'm going through or have gone through, and it like points out like, and it connects dots.
It does.
And you're like,
It's cool.
holy crap. Like, okay, this is the way why I am the way I am. It's a good one and it's super easy to do. But yeah, I would recommend that one to almost everybody should do that because it really does. It helps a lot.
And what's that one called again?
Strength Finder 2.0.
And it tells you to like stop looking at yourself and trying to be this like all around, like focus on the things you're bad at. This one says focus on the top 5 things you're good at and lean into them.
Yeah.
It's like there are going to be people that are going to have 5 strengths that you don't have that can lean into that. And as a team kind of thing, like if you're working as a team, look for those people, like you do what you're good at and let the other people do what they're good at because they can never replicate what you could do. So it's cool, dude. You should do it.
It's cool.
And then I want to know what your things are.
Okay.
I read yours. Makes sense.
I was actually thinking about that last night in my bed. I'm like, oh shoot, I need to go read those again. I need to go read Tyler's.
I wrote Dev's and I was like, oh man, this is Devan. It's crazy.
It is crazy. It's it lines you up perfectly, and you're like, okay. But it tells you like how to, what's the word I'm looking for? Like put that into your life, like
Perspective.
yeah. So like how to apply it, right? So if one of like my first best trait it's called wooing, but it's an acronym for like winning others over, and it talks about what that means, and then how to apply that in your life to make sure you're successful using your personality traits. So that's pretty cool. Yeah,
I'll do it
you should right now.
right now.
We'll watch you and tell you what
Yeah.
to pick.
All right. Well, if you guys are listening to this and you go look up Devan Hess on Instagram, follow some of the crazy stuff he's doing. It's just Tyler Bergman right on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then mine is Sasha_Tommy. And then you'll find us here and watch the journey as it unfolds because it'll be a wild ride.
It's gonna be.
If I know
this
the
is just
3 of
the
us,
beginning.
it's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be fun.
This is the coolest part. It's just the beginning. We're just
Yeah.
in a basement.